It's time to stitch Grandma's house, the last regular block on our Sweetheart Street bench pillow. Grandma's sweet spot block is on page 35. I have my fabric all backed with fusible interfacing, and I have the batting. And this also uses the clear vinyl from the Embellishment Kit. Let's stitch out the last regular block of our bench pillow. So I'm ready to stitch the Grandma's house, and I have the block that I stitched just before this still attached. I have just hooped as close as I can get. Again, that's just a stave-on stabilizer, something that you don't need to do. And so I have finished again the cart, and this time I can go home because I have nothing that I have stitched in my hoop. And so I don't need this to set my next block. So I am going to go home. I'm going to cancel, and I'll go back to embroidery, to my USB, and to my combined files folder. And I need to get Grandma's house, which is block 2. Remember, we didn't stitch these in order, and they're not in order in the book. So now I need to set. I will go to edit and rotate 90 degrees, and bump it all the way down. And again, that's just to save stabilizer. All right, so this is our last regular block. On my screen, I am going to select OK and embroidery, and then choose my minus plus needle. And we will stitch the same steps to start. It's the placement for the batting. I'll place my batting and my fabric, and then I'll tack my fabric down and run the background quilting. So I'm ready to place the applique fabric, and there is one large piece for the house, and that goes right here. It's hard to see the light yellow stitching, and I'll just make sure that it's covered. And then the little chimney ends right here. So I just want to make sure that when I place this, I'm, not too far up. And I have the stitching will be right here. And so because I'm just using, extra fabric, I want to make sure that I wouldn't put it like that and then have this piece get stitched down. So I will just flip it like this and put this just a little bit past the point. And then that way they aren't overlapping and they can both be tacked down. Now, after this is stitched and trimmed, it's going to do the gable or the peak of the house, and there is the striped fabric. Now in the directions it does say to put the stripes up and down. They call this a directional. However, you could, if you wanted the stripes to go sideways, you could put them sideways. The directions do say put them vertical. going over the fabrics in the first part of the video. I had this peach fabric that I thought was for the door. It's actually the felt from the embellishment kit. But I've decided that I would rather have a pink door. I'm more pink than I am peach, so I am choosing to do one of the pink fabrics, and instead of doing the white outline around it, I'm going to do the light pink. And so I'm going to change those colors for this house. I love the pink door and the pink outlining, so I'm glad that I changed that. And then I love this decorative stitch. It kind of reminds me of a little gingerbread house. So cute. All right, let's keep going. We're going to work on the windows. We'll place the fabric and tack down and trim, and then vinyl like we have all of the other windows. This strip for the windows is the last of the small 2-inch wide strip that I have, and I have quite a bit left of the larger 2.5-inch wide strip that I'll have as extras. And so these are the last two windows. So I'm going to just cut this in half and place over each of the windows. I could tack one down and stop my machine and cut when it was done, but it's just easier to do this since it's our last little part of that strip. little flower, the directions called for the light green to be the petals and the pink to be the center. And I love pink, so I decided to swap those colors and have a pink flower. Now the last two steps on our block will be the doorknob and then some cute little smoke coming out of the chimney. I love this little block. Now, there is one more thing that needs to be done for the finishing of this, and that is a three-dimensional sign. And so using the turquoise leather, it will be a sign that will be double-sided. It's something that will be put on at the end when the quilt is done. But I'm going to add that to a new video because I am going to change the sign. It's hard to see, but in the file, they have three different wordings for the sign. It looks like they have just welcome. They have welcome to Grandma's house. And I think this one says welcome to Nana's house. Well, I am going to change mine to Grammy and Papa's house. That's what our grandkids call us. And so I am going to customize the sign for us. So that will be in the next video. But what a cute little house. I love it. So let's go get this ready to trim. I will go ahead and take these both out of the hoop and press and trim these up. It's time to cut our cute Grandma's house block, and I am using my orange pop ruler. Again, this is a block that measures 6.5 by 8.5, and I have it lined up how I'm going to trim it. Now I know again that this looks like it's being trimmed wrong because we're trimming right next to the bottom of the house, but all of these houses need to be right cut along the bottom because 1/4 of an inch along this whole bottom will be in the seam allowance. So we won't see any of the satin stitching on the house and of course a little bit of the flower stem. And that is correct. And I have it lined up. My top tack down sides measure exactly 6.5, and that's what this block needs to be, the width. And so I'm putting my ruler up there at the top, centered the best I can along those tack down lines. Now, as you start coming further down the block, you might be able to see a little bit more of the stitching, and that's because we've got, a lot of embroidery and quilting. So it pulls in, and the tack down is not 6.5 at the bottom, and that's why you can see a little bit of it. And then I have it lined up at the bottom. I don't have it snugged right next to the satin stitching. I don't want to, trim all those threads off. I have it just a hair below so that I don't cut any of that off and, have a bunch of loose threads. All right, so let's get our last regular block trimmed. Now, before I trim this, I want to show you how I use the orange pop rulers. And I have a really great Martelli spinning mat. You can see that it spins, it's got ball bearings, it's super smooth, and I can spin and not have to worry. But when I get ready to hold the ruler down, I usually don't just hold the side I'm cutting. I usually always steady it on this side. So if I'm cutting right here at the bottom of the house, I'll lightly, I'm not even really pressing, I'm lightly just putting my finger. And then when I put these two fingers down, I kind of press. And that kind of just steadies so that I'm not twisting it. So then I'll cut this side. And then I usually will put my fingernail or my finger as I lift up because I don't want to skew this out of alignment. Then I can spin it. Now, if you're using a different kind of mat, you know, you'll have to find out what works best. My mat, again, spins super easy, and so I can do this. So then I'll come to this, and kind of at the same time, I kind of put all 3 fingers down at the same time. And again, I put this right finger down so that when I put these down, it's not, you know, skewing. And then I can, of course, lift that up when I have pressure. But you just notice if I need to move my fingers, I will always come over kind of opposite and move so that I don't, you know, again, skew that out. Then I'll carefully lift up, spin, let me move this. I'll kind of hold this and press down at the same time. And hopefully that gives me the, you know, the best possible cut. So then a lot of times these have these little notches, but sometimes, you know, your ruler doesn't quite get in. And so a lot of the times I'll have, so if I have, I think all of them I have to cut. They're usually just by a like a little thread. So I'll just come in, you could use scissors and just, you know, you can see that. That's just literally like 2 threads holding that. And so I'll just come in. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but usually it's, I don't need a ruler, you know, to line up or cut. If it's a big chunk, you may want to, but I don't usually find that that's necessary. All right, whoops, one more. All right, there is our last regular block. Now I do want you to notice that this side cut pretty close to that stitching. I have a little bit more on this side. And, you know, in a perfect world, they would be exactly the same, but I'm okay with that. The most, again, the most important for these blocks is to have the bottom trimmed where it needs to be. And so if you have a little bit of this tack down showing, that will get covered up in the seam allowance and it's all good.